Again to my channel and to this tutorial teaching series of creating a web project using Spring Boot. And we're trying to build a school management system where we have subjects, students, teachers, and basically for now, for the basic beginning of this project, these are some of the tables we will be interacting and dealing with. Now, my main aim of this tutorial series is to walk you through how to create a Spring Boot project so you understand some of the concept behind it, some of the annotation you're working with, the database, the beans and all of that, and all of the services and the JPA and the Lombok and so many dependencies we'll be working with. And not just that, I'll also be walking you through on how you can document your API using Swagger Doc. How you can also have that documented on Postman API where you can share the endpoint with your team as well. But the Swagger Doc will also do the same similar job, just like the way you have it on Postman. And Swagger is much more descriptive for anybody to read and work with. You can put in some description and so many of that. So that's what I'll be walking you through. And then for the database, we'll be working with the in-memory database for now. And at the end of the tutorial teaching series, we will connect this to a real production database, the one we have locally. If you have the SQL database engine set up on your system, you can test with that. And we'll also be using the Docker container version of the database, Postgres, SQL database to be precise. And then also we'll try to use a hosted instance of a database from any of the cloud hosting platform. We have DigitalOcean, we have Linode, we have Render, Railway, we have PlanetScale, and so many of the cloud companies out there that offers you an instance of a database you can connect and work with. And in this very part of the video, I want to walk you through how you can manage your table relationship on Spring Boot. How you can manage your relationships amongst your data. Take for instance, as we can see right here on the board, we have a many-to-many relationship between subject and student, and we also have a one-to-many relationship between a subject and a teacher. Now, bringing this to a real working scenario on what you can think of, one student can take as many subjects as they want, and then a single subject can be offered by more than one student. Now, I have a basic schema and a diagram to represent the flow right here. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is, in summary, how the relationship is going to look like. And on our table, for now, the central point is the subject. That is one of the basic things linking both the student and the teacher together. Now, if you take a look at the relationship between the subject and the teacher, we have a one-to-many relationship. Okay, now just like let me zoom this out, zoom this in a little so we can see that. Now, a subject, many subjects can be taken by one teacher, and in return, if you're trying to view it from the teacher back to the subject part, we have one-to-many. That's one teacher taking is assigned to many subjects. You can view it from that perspective, and many subjects is being mapped to one teacher. That is what this means. All right, so this is the kind of relationship and annotation we'll be working with on our table, which I will show you shortly. And the kind of relationship that exists between the subject table and the teacher is many-to-many relationship. All right, so many students can take one subject, and one subject can one subject can have so many students who are currently enrolled and are running that subject. Now, how do you put that on your Spring Boot and project? All right, so what you need to do, you just go ahead and locate your entity where you have that, and after you have all of your other variables and field, now for the many-to-many relationship and for the students, for the subject table, right? So we want the join table to be on a subject table, so you just put in this many-to-many annotation on your subject entity, and you need to put this join table. All right, so what springboot will actually do, and the Hibernate JPA, this will create um, a new table, right, where this relationship will be mapped in, and this table will also be given a name. Now within the join table annotation, you have to give the table a name. I'm just giving it this name of subject student. You can give it any descriptive name you want to work with, and we'll need a join column and inverse join column. All right, now this table will contain majorly, or in most cases, the primary keys between the two tables we are mapping to. All right, and the join column will be the subject ID. All right, while the inverse join column will be the other table we are mapping with, and that is the student ID. All right, so this is basically the annotation you need to put in on your subject entity. And now to the other table we are mapping through and linking through, rather, that is the student entity table. We'll have to put in this annotation of just ignore, because we don't really want to see on the student side every of the subject, or every of the this will break some kind of recursive response on our query, or on our students, on our student record. All right, this should be student, not subject. Let me correct that. Student. All right, now this is the annotation we need to put in on our student entity. We need to also put in the at many2many annotation, and we also need to add this map by within our many2many annotation, and this will be mapped by this variable here, creating the table, which is student enrollment variable, and this current name I'm enrolling here. Now if you give this a name XYZ, then XYZ, then this will be our map by key as well. So that is how you manage many-to-many relationship between two tables on Spring Boot application. And in the next section of the tutorial series, we'll implement this on our code snippet, and from there we'll go ahead and enroll students to a particular subject or more than one subject, and we'll run our test using our testing tool, so you see the outcome. Thank you very much for sticking around. I will see you in the next tutorial series.